Okay, now we're going to look at how we solve problems. So we'll go back and share screen. So these are the kind of problems we worked in class. So what we're looking at is cosine pi over 6. So the way that this is going to work out is you need to remember all seniors take calculus, or all students take calculus. I think it's how Mr. Granite does it. That's going to tell you where your things, where your trig functions are positive or negative. So what's going to happen again is this. What we're going to look at is we are going to go ahead and we are going to say that we are looking at, again, all students or all seniors take calculus. So that tells me sine, cosine, and tangent are all positive here. It tells me sine is positive here. It tells me that tangent is positive here. It tells me that cosine is positive here. So that's just another way to remember it. All students take calculus, all seniors take calculus. Because when we go to take these measurements, what we need to be able to do is we need to be able to figure out what our values are. So again, cosine pi over 6. And the way you're going to remember this is, if you remember our x's and y's and r's, we said that the sine of an angle was y over r. We said the cosine of an angle was x over r. That's what we said. Then that's what we did on the test. So what I want you to realize is that cosine is always going to be associated with the x value, sine is always going to be associated with the y value. So when I'm looking at cosine of pi over 6, what that tells me is, again, cosine pi over 6, I want to find pi over 6 on the unit circle. And what I'm going to do is it's going to be one of these two values. This is the value of cosine. This is the value of sine. So the x value is the value of cosine. The y value is the value of sine. So what that says is, if I am taking the cosine of pi over 6, the answer to my problem is root 3 over 2. Because again, it is find pi over 6, find pi over 6. This is the xy coordinate. This is the unit circle values. This is going to be your cosine value. This is going to be your sine value. Sine 7 pi over 6. Again, so what we're going to do, we're going to find 7 pi over 6. 7 pi over 6, here's our two values. Cosine first, sine second. So what it's saying is the sine of 7 pi over 6 is going to be equal to negative 1/2. Again, because we go to 7 pi over 6, drag our finger here. This is the value of the cosine there. This is the value of the sine there. Let's do a tangent. Tangent 5 pi over 4. Okay, so now remember, tangent 5 pi over 4, tangent is always going to be, if you did your, if we did our thing from before, tangent was y over x. So what we need to do is we need to take our y value and need to put it over our x value. So 5 pi over 4. We look around here, we find 5 pi over 4. 5 pi over 4 is negative root 2 over 2, negative root 2 over 2. So what that tells me is that I'm going to put the value of the sine up top, which is negative root 2 over 2. I'm going to put the value of the cosine down below, which is also negative root 2 over 2. When I simplify this, the answer here is going to be 1. Because when I divide a number by itself, I get 1. So let's do another tangent just to see. So now we're going to do tangent 3 pi over 2. So again, remember, it is sine over cosine. So in this case, we have a sine value of negative 1 for 3 pi over 2. 3 pi over 2. And we have a cosine value of 0. So what that's going to tell me is I got negative 1 over 0. That's going to tell me that this one is undefined. Undefined. So this is the way these are going to work. It's going to take a little bit of practice to do these, but this is the general idea of how we do them. So again, if you want to do 10 pi over 3, notice 10 pi over 3 is not on this circle. 10 pi over 3, if you think about it, it's going to go around the circle a few times. So if you think about the way we go around, is that 10 pi over 3 is roughly a little over 3 pi. So what that tells me is I'm going to go all the way around the circle once. I'm going to take it all the way here. This is going to be when I get to 3 pi, because again, once around the circle is 2 pi. Around the circle again is pi. So that gets me to 3 pi. So 3 pi is the same as 9 pi over 3. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it another pi over 3. And that's going to take me down here to this guy right here, 4 pi over 3. So what I'm going to have is -1/2 and -3 over 2. So this guy is going to be -√3 over 2, which is my sine value, over my cosine value, which is -1/2. And when I go to simplify that, I'm going to get -√3 over 2 times 2 over -1. Negative times a negative gives me a positive. The 2's cancel out. The answer to this guy is going to be +√3. So again, we want to practice with this. We're going to do a couple days on this one, and that's going to kind of get our feet wet on this. So hopefully that helped a little bit. Please use the reflection to give me any questions you may have. And on Wednesday, we'll kind of keep coming back around to this.